Welcome back to Physical Education, to another week of sitting down, this time with a Lumos member. We're sort of wrapping in our featured member series that we've done on Instagram or on other socials before, where we ask one of our members some questions. We're wrapping into a little kind of more longer form, hopefully not too much of a longer form podcast style. And I am here with Angelica.
Hi.
So we're gonna start with some questions that I didn't even put on the list, but these should be things like, where you're from. Why don't how about we do this? And this is what we always used to do when we did, the videos is yeah, introduce yourself, tell me where you're from, tell me tell me who you are.
Yeah, well, I'm Angelica. I'm from the suburbs of North Houston. So people who are from the city probably wouldn't call me Estonian.
Oh no?
But
Okay.
no, I'm from like the Woodlands area.
Okay.
Yeah, and I came to Austin in 2018 to go to school at UT, and I just kind of stayed after I graduated. And yeah,
Just
uh,
got a new job.
Yeah, I did just get a new job. I
Okay.
start on the 5th. Thank
Very
you very
cool.
much. I'm a paralegal, so I'm exploring like different legal fields
Okay.
that I might be interested in.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Big reader,
I am a big reader.
right?
Yeah.
Every time you come to the gym,
Yeah, I have a
Most
new book.
people, most people, I would say that most people start warming up or something, but actually most people just like check their phones or something before class, but you usually have a book and you're usually reading, which I
Yeah.
appreciate.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, well, I mean, I think one of the things about having an office job is that I'm always staring at a computer,
Hmm.
right? And that's one of the things that led me to the gym. But I'm staring at a computer for like 8+ hours a day, and then you're staring at your phone. So if I get a chance to like take a break from a digital screen and like look at something else, I will, and that's where I like substitute a book for that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I know we were talking about it. We have a Lumos book club channel,
Yes, we
the
do.
best books of 25.
Oh,
Do you
best
have
books of
do you have
25.
a best of 25? Did you do that?
I didn't do that. I
Okay.
I
You
should
can
pull
think
up my
about it. Maybe we'll come
Goodreads.
back to it.
Yeah, we'll come
Yeah.
back to
All
it.
right. Well, tell me a little bit about kind of your relationship with fitness before you came to Lumos. What role did it play in your early life, into your, college life, adult life? Yeah. What did fitness look like?
Yeah, so it's always been really interesting to me. I grew up playing golf competitively. So I did that all throughout middle school, elementary, middle school, and high school, and then I played some in college. But I wouldn't call myself an athletic person. So it's just I think I'm a person that tends to get like really anxious when I'm doing anything performative, or not performative, but I guess anything new. And to me, like, I think anything fitness is a bit new when it came to anything outside of golf. So
Golf didn't. I would think that golf is like the most anxiety producing sport.
it definitely is anxiety
I
producing.
can't play individual sports. I can
Ye-
only play team sports. Individual sports make me go
really?
crazy. I'm not a super anxious person, but when
Yeah.
it's like just, there's so much pressure on me and
Yeah.
whatever, I hate it. I
So
like having the diffusion of a team.
yeah, I'm the opposite. So for me, like if I'm individual, and this is kind of what made me stop playing golf, is when I'm individual, it's fine. Like if I mess up, that's okay. I don't
Right.
really care. As long as I'm like vibing out, it's fine. But when I have a team depending on me and on my score,
Okay.
then it really gets in my head. And that's the reason why I like stopped doing it competitively, because at that point, like it wasn't fun anymore.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I think kind of when I stopped having fun with golf, I just stopped like any sort of fitness altogether.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I was gonna ask like what, before you got here and we're gonna get to like walking in the door, what wasn't, clicking or working in your sort of like, health and fitness life
Yeah.
that, you wanted to do something new or kind of switch things up.
Yeah, yeah. So, like I said, I kind of quit golf, and then while I was at UT, do a lot of walking and stuff, but there was nothing that was really active. So after I graduated, like I said, I got that office job, and I've been doing that office job, but it leads to like a pretty dormant life.
Hmm.
And I think I was used to such a hustler life that I was really like I really appreciated like having time to just like sit on couch and like slump and do nothing after work. But it got to a point where I started having such a disconnected relationship with my body. Like I just felt sluggish all the time, like I was so lethargic. I yeah, I didn't feel like I really had a connection with my body, and so I think after trying a couple different things, it was actually um one of my medical providers was like, "You really should consider working out," and I was like, "I don't know, I'm not kind of a gym rat. I've never done that before." But I actually have a friend, Sydney Flores,
Mhm.
who goes to Lumos, and I saw her post about the gym like one day on her Instagram, talking about how much she loved it. It was so community focused. So I reached out to her, and I asked her like a little bit more about that.
It's cool to see that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Because like Emma Gibson begat Sydney,
Yeah, I
and
know.
Sydney begat you. So there's like
Yeah.
a heritage,
Yeah, it
right?
is. Yeah.
It's all sort of like a UT pipeline kind of,
It is a UT pipeline, yeah.
But it's cool. It's nice when you can kind of trace that, like, oh yeah, this person came from this person who came from that person. It's a cool kind of way of doing it. So that's where, it kind of leads us to getting started, right?
Mm.
About, you talked to Sydney and she kind of gave you a recommendation. Like, did you feel like it was kind of, once that happened, it was easy to get going, or was there like kind of a moment where you were like, maybe I'm not going to walk through the door, maybe I'll just, we've heard stories like people like, they like drive up, and sit in their car and then like drive
Oh
away. Yeah.
no, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so one of the things I was talking about with Sydney was like, I don't know any of this. It was all really scary for me. Um, but I really wanted something that was like community focused to like meet people that, and one of the things she told me is she said, Angelica, you have to give it 3 months. She was like, you can't do anything in like 1 month and expect it to be like life changing. You have to give it like an actual like go. She's
Mhm.
like, give it 3 months. If you hate it after 3 months, don't even consider it, don't come back. But at the end of 3 months, if you like it, then
Mhm.
yeah. And that really stuck in my head. I was like, okay, yeah, 3 months I can commit to 3 months. Like I'll do a check-in at the end of 1 month and then I'll see at 3 months. But it definitely wasn't easy. It definitely was something that like developed over time. I definitely felt really nauseous a lot of that time, um, and really anxious. And I think a lot of it was like trying to get out of my head and realizing that like nobody cares what you look like at the gym. We're all like focused on our own thing,
Mhm.
and no one's gonna look at you and be like, ah, you
Mhm.
look horrible. We're like applauding each other. And so I think over time, Brett, who was like my coach during foundations, really helped instill like a very empowering I think coaching style or like environment. It was very empowering, and he like really helped me transition into classes where we would partner up and I would get to know people. And I think the social aspect of that, the way that our classes are set up helped a lot with me coming back in the gym. So it definitely wasn't an easy thing, but by the time that I got to the end of the 3 months, I was really excited to come here. I always felt really proud of myself after I came.
Right.
Yeah.
Very cool. Do you have any like, I mean, I think it's interesting before I ask another question,
Yeah.
right? Like where you're, talking about sometimes in, I think like the social science world, they call like spotlight syndrome, right? The
Mm.
idea that like
Mhm.
everybody's looking at you,
Yeah.
everybody, whatever. And I think sometimes one of the nice things about this is like, if you're in a class of 8 or 10 or 15 people, like in some ways, like there's enough people that like you feel like people both sort of care what you do, but don't really care, like,
Mhm.
but it's not, they're not sitting there being like, oh, well, they only have this on the barbell today. Like,
Yeah.
what's that all about? Right. Like, they're happy for you when you do something that you're proud of.
Yeah.
And if it's a day where you just kind of do some training or things don't go that way,
Yeah.
like, I think everybody's pretty quick to just be like, yeah, whatever,
Yeah.
they were here. Cool.
Yeah.
Glad to see them.
Yeah. And I think one thing that's really great is that like the people that go here are like so diverse, you
Hmm.
know? We're not all like the same body shape, the same bodybuilder, like,
Hmm.
we're not competing against each other. And I think it's like really beautiful to see that diversity through like, the weightlifting too, and then all the different like variations that we do in the gym as well.
Sure. Did you have anything, this when you were getting started, any assumptions about, gyms or about training or fitness that maybe like, proved to be inaccurate?
Mm, yeah, I guess I think like one thing that when I think of like the gym beforehand, I always thought of like gym rats,
Mhm.
right? That term where people are like obsessed with or like more addicted to it, and then like it being really about
Like Jim is personality.
yeah, gymnast personality,
What's your
but
personality? It's Jim.
gym.
I do gym. Yeah.
But also like physique. Like I feel like
Um,
physique is like a really, really big thing
mhm.
that I like heard on a lot about, and
It's a
sometimes
very like current social media thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
nowadays there's like a lot of like physique maxing kind of
Yeah.
stuff,
And
physique talk.
yeah, and it
Yeah.
can feel like really superficial. I think that
Right.
added to the intimidation, right? Because obviously before I like got started at the gym, I was not fit.
Mhm.
Like I don't know. It was definitely that spotlight thing. And so I think in my head I thought that everyone would be really about that.
Mhm.
Like their
Right.
personality would be the gym and like
Right.
would care a lot about physique and would be like flexing in mirrors and stuff
Right.
like that.
No mirrors.
No, no mirrors. No, instead people are like talking about I don't know how their family is doing while they're like benching and
Mhm.
or like bench pressing and yeah, it's much more community focused and we're all just like human beings, you
Right.
know.
And I think talking about our lives and what we're doing and things like that, but also focusing on like what you can do, right?
Yeah.
I think is a big thing in, what we do here in this sort of fitness. I'm writing an article about somebody who's like a big writing an article I'm writing a script for a video.
Oh, cool.
They're no longer articles. Nobody
Oh,
reads these
the Friday
days. I
flex?
know, yeah.
No.
Yeah, well, I just put the transcript now because nobody reads. I know. It's
I
just us.
read.
It's I
Don't
know.
worry, have fun there.
I know. It's so sad. Uh, and it's about this guy Dan John who's like a writer and stuff in like late '90s, early 2000s,
Yeah.
right? And as I've been doing some of this research, like it kind of like is reminding me of some sort of like now I'm old enough that I've seen like sort of like trends at the gym come and
Mm-hmm.
go. And so like, 80s, early 90s was very physique focused.
Mm-hmm.
It was like bodybuilding, things like that. The like muscle and fitness magazines really taken off. And then I think like 90s into like birth of CrossFit, early 2000s, things like that is when things got a lot more like functional focused, health focused. What can you do with your life? Like
Yeah.
things like is the stuff you're doing in the gym making you a better, whether like you have a job that's very physical or even just like, being a person in the world. And I do think in some ways in the last, I don't know, 5 years, something like that, we're starting to kind of like come back around full circle to like some like big physique influence in training. And I don't think it's wrong. Like I love all training. I self-identify as a gym rat. Um, but I think often physique can be a very like one-way street,
Yeah.
right? And it's like you go down it, and if you don't get where you want to go, you're nowhere,
Yeah.
right? Whereas like training for, functionality, training to feel better, training for better energy are things where it's like even if you don't end up exactly where you want, you're still somewhere probably pretty good,
Yeah.
and so it's nice to be reminded that that's like a thing that resonates with people
Yeah.
sometimes because I don't want to lose sight of that, even if like now, current trends are a little different. All right, well now we're like caught up sort of to today,
Yeah.
right? Tell me about, your relationship with fitness today, right? How has it changed? Whether that's like changes, physically, mentally, what changes about how you think about fitness?
Mhm.
Yeah, what's today look like?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I've been here for a year and a half, and I think that has changed over time. Um, in the beginning, I was wanting to get a pattern of just doing like movement, intentional movement. And then that changed into me training for high rocks, and it was like something I wanted to prove that I could do for
Mhm.
myself. And I did it in April, and that was great. And now I came out of like that competitive like mindset. And I think now for me, fitness is more whole. Like it's not just about consistency and coming in the gym, but it's also about like the nutrition and the sleep and everything that like
Mhm.
adds to that.
Mhm.
So for me, I think I was just talking about Philip. I was just talking about this with Philip the other day about like perfection versus consistency. And something you said is, like every week on that Sunday or Monday, like it restarts. Even if you weren't able to go to the gym the week before, and let's say like you try to hit three and life happened and you can only go twice, like that's okay. Because you always keep coming back,
Mhm.
right? And that's kind of the way that I'm looking at it now. I'm still intentional about like wanting to do movement, but also it's like really important for like my community building. Like I want
Mhm.
to see my community, and a lot of my community is here. But then also in like my more day-to-day life, like I see fitness also through like my nutrition,
Mhm.
that like complements that.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can have one without the other.
Tell me, this is not a question I have here, but tell me a little bit about how working on
Mm.
nutrition with JoJo's been.
Yeah, well, it's been great. I think one of I tend to.
You're like her favorite.
Oh,
I'll tell
really?
you. I mean, no offense to other clients or one of her favorites. We were just talking, I meet with my coaches each week, and she
Yeah.
was like, for the style of coaching that she does, which
Yeah.
requires a lot of self-reflection,
Uh
she's like, Angelica's killing it. Like, she's so good at this, right? Like, and some people have a lot of trouble with that,
yeah.
right? I mean, I know I have a lot of trouble with self-reflection sometimes. And she's like, yeah, like, you know, folks who do a good job with that, it's
Mm.
like it gives her a lot to work with as a
Mhm.
coach. So, yeah, tell me about
Yeah.
nutrition.
Well, I think a lot of that goes to the fact that I've been like in therapy for 5 years, so let's go. But and which is connected to the working out, because it was actually my therapist who was like, and Helga, we've done all this like mindfulness work, yet you're
Mhm.
still not doing anything active with your body to connect with your body.
Mm.
And I think it was the same thing with eating. I had been at the gym for like a year, but I still felt really weird, like, and I'm realizing now I was not intentional with like my eating or what I was putting in my body. And so that like really affects my moods. I get hangry, or I show up to the gym and I have like no energy to give to the gym, and then I just feel spent. Or maybe I eat too much and then I feel like really nauseous at the gym, and it's really hard for me to stay present.
Mm.
And so a lot of these issues I was having, I like spoke with Jojo about it. And yeah, that intentionality like really comes through with the nutrition, because like she has helped me realize like, okay, like how to work around timing, but also reflecting on, let's say like I'm at work and I'm realizing that I'm like snacking a lot, and
Mhm.
then it just makes me feel like gross when I'm like working and like come into the workout and then I don't perform well, and then I don't know. Either way, she helped me like realize that maybe I am an emotional eater, because like I'll be overwhelmed at work and I'm anxious about like a project, and I'll get up, I'll walk around, and I'll see we have like chocolate and I start eating chocolate.
Mhm.
That's just like one small example, but I'm forgetting what your question was, but
I mean, it was a pretty broad, just like tell me about, how
nutrition, yeah.
nutrition, how it's been going.
Yeah.
I think it brings us to something cool, and it's something you said even before we started talking about that, or maybe what kicked us off on nutrition is like the idea of thinking about going from like, okay, I want to do something to move my body a little more to feel better there, to slowly kind of like adding
Yeah.
pieces, sort of, making kind of fitness and health
Yeah.
more of like part and parcel of your general life,
For
right? And sort of
sure.
integrating things together and seeing it as like not just like this one siloed thing of like,
Mhm.
yeah, I go there for an hour and I jump around and then, my like, you know, muscles, bones, and joints feel better.
Yeah.
But this more kind of like what's the word? Interdisciplinary, comprehensive, related, system of like, my eating and my sleeping and exercise and even things like therapy, which is basically like mental health exercise,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And being socially connected are all things that sort of like
Yeah.
connect together to this like this is my healthy life,
Yeah,
right?
it is my healthcare.
Right.
Like yeah, I mean, I of course want to be as happy as I can be, and I want to make sure that I'm the best person that I can be, because that's what brings me joy, right, in life. And fitness and my nutrition that goes hand in hand with fitness to make me feel the best that I can and like be able to be as present as I can in my life, like that all is part of my health care. That's really important to me. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, we kind of like answered parts of the next like question or two, so I'm just gonna kind of like collate them a little bit. We talked about like how, the role fitness plays sort of in larger life balance with other responsibilities like your
Mhm.
job and things like that. Um, Looking outside the gym, like, do you think is there anything that you feel like is different now in your sort of out of gym life because of what you do here, because of what you train, training regularly?
Yeah, I feel a lot more confident
Hmm.
in like who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think before I don't know. I'm very grateful to be like young and have gotten started in this like pretty young.
Hmm.
But when I think about like when I graduated from college, like before I started the gym, I felt like pretty lost in what I was doing. And I think like the gym has given me something to like anchor on to, right? Like not only in the gym, like you were saying, you see your progression through weightlifting or skills or whatever, but it's a lot about like what you can do and it's like putting investment into yourself. And so I was like getting to know myself again, getting to know my body, and also adding on to nutrition of that, like learning about what makes me feel best. I mean, coming out of the gym, I feel a lot more confident in my life. And I think also it's like great social practice, right? Because if I'm only going to work and then home, I'm not really socializing at all. So getting to like meet new people here, like in a diverse array of people, and like small talk, and then that small talk turning into like seeing each other like weekly and then becoming friends. I mean, Brooke is one of my best friends,
Hmm.
and I met her here through the gym. And so not only has it like helped me bring confidence and work on like my social skills and also like help me invest in myself, but yeah, it's helped me like make new friends here and make Austin kind of home.
Yeah, I mean that is the goal, right? We've
Yeah.
had we've had a bunch of, I mean, I've met a bunch of my really good friends here. I moved here and immediately opened the gym. So
Yeah.
sort of like my social circle and the gym have always been pretty, intertwined. And we've
Mhm.
had like, people who've gotten married and things like that. So that's certainly it's cool to see on my side.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a little like those are the big questions. Quick hitter, quick like
Okay.
last. We'll do a last fun one
Yeah.
right before you go.
Yeah.
If you could design a workout
Oh
that
God.
had your three favorite movements in it,
Yeah.
what would that be? You don't have to design the structure of the workout.
Okay.
You could just say like it had these three movements in it.
Okay.
A movement or a workout you feel like you do really good on or
I
really enjoy.
really I really like squat cleans.
Okay.
I got them like this year,
Okay.
I feel like, with the help of John.
Okay.
And so I feel really good anytime I do any of those.
You're starting with like the most complex thing as I can. Okay. Cool. Like that. Yeah.
So squat cleans I like kettlebell swings. I like any like push press.
Okay.
Um, what else do I like? I like rowing a lot.
Okay.
I'm not the best at it, but I like
That's
it. It can
fun.
just turn off
Yeah.
my mind. So I think
Yeah,
it'd
it's
be
kind of
something like
cruisy.
there.
Okay, a little row, some barbell stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being. You're the first person who's done this new,
Oh,
yeah,
really?
your new format.
Wow.
So
Of
thank you for doing that. Thank you for being brave to do
course.
that. Usually, like these videos in the past have been like a minute or two. So this one's like 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So
Well, I
yeah.
hopefully didn't ramble too much,
No,
but
well, I'm working my way down. The
okay.
first one we did was like 45 minutes. Me and John yesterday or last week were like 40 or something. So I'm trying to this is right where I want it to be.
Okay,
So good
good. I'm
job.
glad.
Excellent. Thank you all if you're watching. We're gonna flip-flop every week between interviewing coaches at Lumos, members, some people sort of maybe outside of the community, and then videos where you just have to listen to me. And thank you, Angelica,
Yeah.
for being part of
Thank
it.
you for having
Yeah,
me.
we'll see you soon.